Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
What are we talking about today?
Emotional women.
Generally emotional people. It's mostly. I mean, that's the cliche.
Mm-hmm.
Having to deal with an emotional woman.
Yeah. Do you think I'm very emotional? Tread carefully. No kidding.
I think you're a typical chick, but you're not irrational. I can mention it, and you can tell me honestly if you are or aren't. You won't avoid it. You don't play games. If you're feeling emotional or a certain way, you'll tell me exactly how you're feeling, even if it's confused.
Mm.
I'm feeling a weird way. Sorry, babe. I'm in a funk. I'm feeling weird, whatever. So you do, but not in a way that's very hard to deal with.
Mm. You know what I think? Tell me what you think about this. I think I'm actually not often very emotional
Mm-hmm.
because I think I'm pretty chill usually.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I can get emotional, like when things aren't going well, like my projects or things like that, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the bigger thing with me is
When you get frustrated, yeah.
when I get frustrated or like when I have like a mood shift or something, mood swings. Those kind of things are more things that I deal with. Um,
Yeah, you kind of get autistic about something,
mm,
and that's when you get kind of emotional,
yeah.
but you're not like a hysterically kind of a typical emotional woman that a lot of guys talk about.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's more my thing.
Yeah. And I think for me, it stands out because you're always one mode. And then when that blip happens, it's very uncomfortable and it's not you.
Mm.
And I don't know what to do, or I have to ask you and you tell me, yeah, I'm just having one of those moments, or I'm fixated on this and I can't let it go and it's bugging me. And
Yeah.
but you'll let me know. But because it's out of your normal state, and it
Mm.
becomes kind of like, oh, she's being emotional or something.
Mm.
But at least you communicate it with me. You don't do what many of my exes and most women do to guys, where they say nothing and then they kind of have an argument and they put it on the other person, and it becomes this argument about avoiding just telling the person that they were being emotional. Like they were having these emotions. If you just said, oh, I'm going through this, I'm feeling this, then you wouldn't have the argument of nothing's wrong. Why are you getting angry? And like,
Yeah, but I think right off the bat, I do want to say that I think that the way that I'm emotional sometimes has like 99% to do with myself and my own internal stuff. You
mm-hmm.
know, like I've got some autistic traits, and like when things suddenly change and I get like annoyed or something, it's more like my own stuff, but it's not like between us.
No, no.
Yeah, and that's what I think people think of when they hear this topic. Why are you so emotional? Like when the girl's like fighting with the guy and she's like all emotional and stuff, like that's not the way that I'm emotional, I don't feel. With me, it's like mostly just to do with myself
Yeah.
and my own stuff. Yeah.
Hi to the regulars. Luke, Peg, Rocket, Armored Ghost. How are you guys?
Do I look fat?
Yeah, well, this is a great thing about you. If you ask me a question, if you say, "Oh, does my butt look big in this, or do I look fat, or do I like you're actually asking me a legitimate question.
Mm.
Like, how do I look? Does this outfit match this?" And if I give you an honest opinion, you won't get offended because you asked me. But a lot of
Mm.
people, they ask a question so they can be flattered.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like when people deny my reality. We've talked about that before, you know. Like if I know that I've gained weight, and we've talked about this literally one time before on the live stream, I think. And then someone is like, "No, you look fine," and no, no, and I'm like, "No, like obviously this is true, and you're just trying to make me feel better." That will actually piss me off because you're just lying to my face. Like I would rather have you just tell me, "Yeah, I can see what you mean." Like
Mm.
it's fine, but like yeah, I see what you mean. I would rather have that honesty.
Yeah. I remember, it sticks in my head, there was a moment where it's your sense of reality rather than being flattered. I remember not last time when we saw your family, but the time before for your sister's wedding, and we were around the table for breakfast, and you woke up and you were a bit in a funny mood or something. You were tired or grumpy or something, right? And your family knows you better than I do, or I don't know, like they've known you for longer than I do, and you were like, "Oh, sorry, I'm like this or whatever," and me and everyone else was saying, "No, it's this. You're fine," and you're like, "Come on, guys, like stop."
Oh,
Remember? And you were like,
yeah.
"Stop trying to butter me up. Like I'm not the greatest. Like I'm not in a good mood. Stop telling me I'm great."
I think that was between my mom and us, that conversation.
But you're all around. But I was actually saying, "Oh, babe, maybe this." I was trying to be supportive, and your sister, and like they were all trying to say, "Oh, you're not that bad," because you were talking negatively about yourself, like you were pointing out negative
Yeah,
traits.
I don't remember other people being there. I remember it being with you and my mom. Maybe other people were there. I can't remember. And we were talking, I think, about selfish traits that I have.
Okay, yeah.
I think that was the topic. And my mom was like vehemently trying to defend me because she's my mom and she loves me. And I was basically saying, "Oh, come on, mom. Like, you know this is true. You've known me my whole life. I've got these things." And yeah, that was that conversation.
Yeah, that was kind of funny to me because it was not, you were really, you could see yourself clearly. You didn't want to be buttered up. You didn't just want to be told you're great. You were just talking about reality.
I think my mom and you also, like people who love me obviously don't like it when I tear myself down. Like that's not how I see it, but other people see it like that. And then they want to defend me, which is nice, I guess, because they love me on the one hand. But on the other hand, it's not nice because they're like denying reality, which is what I don't like.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, come on, you know this is true. Like I know you love me, but like let's talk about reality.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah, but everyone does that, I think. I think you do that even with me sometimes when I joke and I'll say something bad about myself, and you're like, "Hey, like don't say that about yourself or whatever." It's natural for
Yeah.
people that you care about to defend them.
Yeah, that's true. But it's usually in a joking way.
Yeah.
When you say something a bit in a joking way. Because the things that you think you need to work on, which is like maybe only one little thing, like we've talked about, and like I can see what you mean with that. So yeah.
Peg says, "Why so emotional is a good question. Some have thicker skin than others. The way you were raised, okay or not okay to show emotions. How individual manages responses to triggers." Yeah, some people have thicker skins than others. If you were raised in an environment that's people are always shouting, then you have a higher tolerance for emotion. Like for instance, our noisy neighbors with their kids. Can imagine they find it just normal to be screaming and fighting and raising your voice and everything. Whereas the way you and I were raised, we wouldn't be able to survive in a house or in a relationship with a person like that.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously there should never be shouting in a relationship.
Yeah, but those people that are raised like that with a lot of noise and shouting, and it's like a mental asylum there. It's just screaming and you hear doors slamming and
Yeah, I know, but I feel like you shouldn't be in a relationship with someone who screams at you ever.
yeah.
Like if you're not able to just talk about stuff, even if you have like a very serious argument, there's still no reason like to actually scream at your partner. There's no reason for that, and I don't think anyone should be in a relationship with someone who actually screams at you.
Yeah.
Like the fuck.
But there's some people that are raised like that and they're used to it, and then when someone can't be with them and they leave because they won't tolerate it, they're like, "Fuck, man, they can't even take that. That's just me. What's wrong with them?" They think that these people are very soft. Like, what a bunch of snowflakes. They can't even take me raising my voice and getting angry once in a while. Like, that was normal. Everyone's a
Yeah,
bunch
have a
of...
nice life thinking that. That's fine. You go over there, and this person can go look for someone else. Like, that's completely fine. You can think that.
Yeah.
Good luck with your life.
But they're the ones that scream online and scream in the neighborhood.
All the more reason why you shouldn't be with them.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
this is the thing. Like, we go, yeah, it's fine. I'm not going to associate with you. They live their life not wanting to be fair and treat people well and lower their voice. And then when we go on a walk, they try and run us over on their bikes, and they talk loud, and they play music in the middle of the night. They still affect your life, and it's annoying.
Yeah, okay, but no one can do anything
Yeah,
about
I
that.
guess.
But you shouldn't be in a relationship with those people, probably. But yeah, I also don't think, of course it depends on context, but like, I also wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone who was always super emotional. Like, obviously, for me as a woman, that would not be very attractive as if a man was super emotional. But also, if I were a man,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be with a woman who was like super emotional all the time. That's just not fun.
It's not. They expect guys to put up with it because we're physically tougher. But we're not used to dealing with uncomfortable emotions because we generally do something about it in our own world. When it's not got to do with women, we'll fix the problem, walk away with it, or, it'll be solvable in one way or another. But with women, we somehow need to tolerate it.
I do want to actually make a distinction because when I talk about emotional women, I'm more so talking about the aggressive form of emotional. Because
like the manipulators,
yeah, or just the shouting type, right? Or the crazy type. But if a woman is just like very emotional, like she may have some problems and she gets emotional often and she cries, but it's more like a quiet emotional kind of thing. That's a bit different, I would have like more patience for that, and we could try to like work through that. Maybe she needs to go to therapy or whatever. I would have a bit more patience for that. But with the woman that's like loud and like the crazy type, like that's like no, red flag, stay away.
Yeah, but then also that's an easy one. The loud, crazy one is like, okay, that's extreme. It's like, see you later.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get your limit of that and not be able to handle it. And she won't be able to be with you because you can't handle her. Like a high maintenance girl who shouts. Those girls that go out with bikers and felons and, all tattoos up their neck, who are always high emotion, high octane, high anger, temper. They have a short fuse. Yeah, they try and go out with a nice guy, and they don't respect the nice guy. They're bored and they get frustrated with him because he can't match her. So that's very easy. I actually think most guys, and me, I had a problem with women who were the lower level you talk about, always moody, didn't talk. You walk on eggshells with these people because they're fragile and they make the relationship fragile. And things are unsure and it's non-communicative because they're fragile inside and they don't want to talk about it. That's worse to me.
Yeah, okay. But I need to be more specific, I think. I'm also not talking about women that are mean or manipulative or lying or that kind of stuff, because those are also obvious red flags to me. I'm more so talking about the positive emotional woman, if that's the thing. What I mean is just like she's just, some people are just more emotional than others. Mm-hmm. And she's just got some issues, but like not negatively towards you. That's more what I'm talking about.
Sure, as long as she's not gaslighting and being honest about it, but also no one wants to be around someone who's sad all the time. If someone's emotional all the time and sad all the time.
No, I know, but I was just saying that I would have more patience for that than something very negative.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Like someone who's the aggressive biker chick, high octane. Yeah, of course, you won't have much patience. Anyone with half a brain, you can't tolerate them. And they won't tolerate you because you're boring. But the person, you would have more patience for the person that's maybe a little bit depressed or a bit emotional and fragile and going through stuff. At the same time, if they don't communicate, if they're not honest, like, you don't want to be around them as well. Like, being around a sad woman is terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I've been around women like that. You feel sympathy, and then you start to confuse. You start to confuse affection and love with sympathy, and feeling sorry for them, and that's dangerous. You start to base your relationship on feeling sorry for the person and taking care of them and stuff, but you don't really love them. You know, it's about being altruistic and sympathetic and a nice person, but you don't actually love them in the way that there's a nice feedback loop of support and you see each other properly and you communicate and things like that. It's just you taking care of someone. You know? So it's kind of dangerous. So I would say, from a guy, I was always more worried and walking on eggshells around the nicer, more emotional girl who didn't communicate, and I didn't know what was going on, and she just made me into a more fragile person because I could never feel comfortable and secure in a relationship. And whereas the ones who were loud and obnoxious and quick, you know, that you avoid them very quickly. They're too loud and stupid for, like, if you stay with them, you're a complete moron. It's like you enjoy being abused. But covert emotion, that sort of low level, that can be very dangerous, especially for men, because we're not used to dealing with emotions. We don't grow up emotionally calibrated to a world with guys. We do stuff, we play sport, we don't talk about our feelings very much. Women do.
Do you not? I feel like if I were a man and I was with a woman like that, then whenever she would behave like that, I would just confront her about it and talk about it and fix it. But I think what happens often is that it's not necessarily talked about, and then the guy is walking on eggshells the whole time.
But see, you mentioned there, talked about, that's logical. A woman who's very emotional, she won't want to go into logic, which leads to fixing things, which leads to you admitting where you're at fault, where your problems are, what you fear, what you're going through. A lot of women hide that. They don't actually tell you. So that becomes logical. So they want to stay in emotion. They don't want to be logical.
Yeah, but they might not be able to talk about it in the moment because they're emotional. I get that. But next time when she's calm again, then I would sit down and talk about it. And like basically say like, okay, this is not how we're going to do things. And then just if that just keeps happening, then that's not something I would want in my life.
Yeah, but some people like staying in emotion longer and longer. It feels comfortable.
Who? The man or the woman?
Women mostly, but I think anyone.
Yeah, but that's fine. But I'm talking about the guy. Like, why does he stay?
We've mentioned this before. Well, guys will put up with a lot because they like women, they love women, and they're taught that you just, women are emotional. A guy understands his woman. He doesn't just he has to be patient. She doesn't want her problems fixed. She just wants you to listen to her. And so you sit there and she's just emotional. You don't understand and blah. And you can't actually tell her to get to the point because you want to fix the problem and move on. You want to be happier. If you do that, that's breaking the rule. It's like, no, don't tell her what to do. Just listen. Keep your mouth shut. And then it's just, you got to sit there in her emotion all the time. So a lot of these messages that guys are told, don't get to the truth, but let her emote. Listen to her. She doesn't want her problem solved. And then it's just a cycle of emotions until she gets tired of it. And you have to put up with a cycle of emotions.
Well, I think it also depends on whether she wants to work on it or not.
Yeah.
Like that makes a big difference. If she acknowledges what's going on and she actually wants to work on it, even though it might be hard, because I've got the social thing that's been very difficult for me that might be seen as irrational. But it's seriously been difficult for me.
Yeah.
But I've wanted to work on it, obviously.
But you never avoid the subject, though.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So even if something is difficult for a woman, but she acknowledges what's going on and she wants to work on it,
that's
like
fine.
I have, that's a bit different. Like that's at least you're moving into the right direction.
The typical thing that happens, I've mentioned this a few times with you and online, is with women, they play this game of they don't want to admit where they're feeling bad, where their emotions are. And you notice it and you say, what's going on? What's wrong? And they'll say nothing. That's the cliche, nothing. And if you keep asking, it's just going to escalate into an argument. Stop asking me why you keep bugging me. And then it comes into an argument. So then as soon as I say, okay, You say it's nothing. I won't ask you anymore. Then they're honest. Then, all right. But why do I have to play this game with you to get you to just be honest with me?
Yeah, but those are more manipulative behaviors, I find.
Because she wants to stay in that emotion. She wants to stay in that avoidant.
Yeah, I know, but that's a little bit different from, like, you've got the problem that she finds difficult to deal with, which makes her emotional. Like, I'm trying to compare it to myself as well. And then there's not wanting to talk about it, not communicating, lying, silent treatment, manipulating, that kind of stuff. That's a little bit different, I find. Because that's behavior that should be seen as separate, and that's just not acceptable in a relationship. You know? Like, if you've got an issue, we can work on that issue. If I love you, of course, we'll try to work on it, and you know. But if you don't even want to talk about it, and you're lying, and you're playing all these games, that's something else. Now we can't even get to the problem because you're not being here in this relationship with me. You know, so that's like not acceptable.
Yeah, but you forget, you do that well. You acknowledge, even if you're feeling a way that you can't quite put into words, at least you'll describe what you're going through. A lot of women aren't even comfortable just honestly describing where they're feeling. Like, I'm just feeling weird, babe. I'm feeling off. I don't know why I'm like this. Sorry, I'm snappy. They just won't acknowledge what is, that they'll start to kind of like, don't yell at me. Nothing. Like, they just keep avoiding,
Yeah.
you know?
But I think that's a very important distinction in when you're looking for a girl and whether or not she is able to do that.
Yeah.
Because then if she has some emotional problems or whatever, but she at least can talk about it, admit her faults, and work on it with you, that's completely different from that other behavior.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, now I'm hot. One day I'm a Greek god, next day ghosting.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened to me. Told you with an ex a couple. Well, one day I'm like a god to her, and then the next, not the next day, but very soon after, it's like, no, you're not for me. And she moved on. She ghosted me.
Okay, did you hook up at least or no?
What do you mean? Like with her?
Did you go on a date or?
No. This was a girlfriend, like not the last girlfriend.
Oh,
the one
yeah, you told
remember?
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden she became cold and distant, and I was like, what's going on? And then she's like, oh, I need to come over. I want to talk to you about something. And then it was basically over, and I never saw her again. And then I tried to call. I was like, what's going on? And she avoided my calls, and I managed to, I think in the morning, I tried calling her like 5 a.m. because maybe she'll just pick up the phone. She'll be half asleep, and she did. And she just said like, no, you're not for me. And she just like went from full on relationship to no.
How long had you been with her?
2 years.
Well, I guess you found out what you meant to her.
Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah, I remember she used to call me her Egyptian king, which I always thought was strange.
Yeah.
So that's my advice to any guy. When a girl starts calling you these fantasy things, be very careful. If it's a joke, it's fine. But if she's always talking to you from that context and always gets off on it, if you lose your job, you going through a hard time, like anything that will take that image away from her, then she won't like you anymore. That's what I guess happened with her.
Why Egyptian?
I don't know, because I have a shaved head, and she thought I reminded her of that guy in The Mummy. You know, the guy with that kind of the villain.
Yeah.
What else? Luke. Well, if you're in a relationship, right, if you can't pretend not to be in a relationship or not to care about a person, and then when the emotions come up and you try, I think the point is with guys and girls to, you can try and be aware if you're trying and they're trying back, if you're making a good effort together, or if you're just repeating a cycle of it's not going anywhere and I just keep trying and I'm just repeating the same bullshit that goes back to zero all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that people sometimes forget that there's two people in a relationship, and people that are the victims or on the receiving end of something that's not good, then sometimes they forget that they also have a role in the relationship and a responsibility to, for example, recognize that it isn't working and that you need to get out or at least do something. And then they just stay in it and they're like, oh, but she's doing all these things to me. Yeah, but you're in the relationship too. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. To be able to voice like, babe, are we here again? I thought we were past this. Like, I can't do anything. Like, I don't like going back to zero. I feel like our relationship doesn't progress or doesn't get better because we return back to zero. I feel like I'm still getting to know you because we still have the same problems and we don't communicate and we don't get past it.
Yeah.
A person doesn't have to tolerate bad behavior. Like, just because all of us have had stuff we went through when we were younger, all of us have little triggers, things we're afraid of. But if you know you're a little bit embarrassed of it, you should improve. You don't deserve, the other person doesn't deserve it any more than you would deserve another person putting their childhood and everything on you. It's nice to understand it, but I'm just not going to be someone who's going to be whipped by it all the time. Like, if you went through stuff when you were younger, I can understand it and sympathize, but if it always comes and intrudes, you use it as an excuse to act badly towards me? No, sorry. Like, I can sympathize, but it's not a license for you now just to treat me like shit and avoid things and be emotional and treat me badly. And like, well, I have to tolerate things. You have to tolerate my bad mood, my non-communication. I'm not going to talk about it because of childhood.
Yeah, but I think it's also like, I think I said this last week as well. People accept behavior sometimes when they get something out of it as well. And I think that that's also why men or women stay in relationships sometimes. You know, because if you're still there, you're obviously getting something out of it. So it's kind of also your choice.
What do you think about this, Christina, she says?
There's also a monthly hormonal fluctuations. I have marked it on my calendar and let my partner know that I'll be minimizing contact.
Yeah, I've heard this. But
that sounds like you are aware that you're like a beast and you're protecting your partner from yourself.
Well, yeah, but at least she's well,
she's then obviously not living with him. I don't know if it works for her. I've luckily never noticed anything with the monthly stuff.
No, your mood
so that's good.
Doesn't change there. But yeah, I've heard there's a lot of women. Some women can't even go to work because of the pain physically, but then sometimes their mood as well. But you know what? With that mood thing, I always notice that with their partners, they really can't help and they can't control their emotions, but they can still go to work.
I was just going to say that.
How come you can control it at work?
Yeah.
Because your partner should be more important than a boss. You can sit there with a smile and behave yourself, but with your partner, who should be 100 times more like important than your boss.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. But the other way to look at it is you feel much more comfortable with your partner. So you're gonna...
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, because with your partner, you don't have any formal walls up. You want to be relaxed and let go with your partner, and that means letting go of emotions as well. All I can say is, yeah, it's whether or not you can tolerate that or you can be in a relationship like that. So
what I find really annoying is this isn't necessarily about emotion, but more so about your mood. That sometimes you wake up with a really good mood and sometimes you wake up like in a bad mood or you're flat or whatever. And it's like you only have so much control over that, and sometimes that can be really annoying. Yeah, like we've had that. Like we'll be in some kind of mood and we'll be like annoyed by the mood. Like, why am I in this mood? Like everything's good, and that's really annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't help your emotions. Like the typical one is you plan to, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to work on this project. I feel so inspired. And then you wake up and your mood is just completely not what you want it to be. It's not just a little bit off, it's on the opposite end. It's like, why? I've got the whole day to work on this thing. I was so inspired and happy. And now my mood just doesn't want to participate.
Yeah. And then other days, you have a really good mood, like out of nowhere, and you're like, oh man, this is so nice.
Like it's happened with both of us at times where we had a day where the whole day we were going to do this or go out or watch a movie. And then one of us is in a funk. It's like, oh, sorry, babe, I don't know why I'm like this. And then we can't enjoy the day like we planned because one of you is in a sort, and who knows if it's chemicals, what you ate, how you slept, expectations. But I think it's more to do with people who generally are emotional in a way that you really can't handle. It's not comfortable with you. And you're always tolerating them. And you're very uncomfortable in the relationship. You're not relaxed. You know? The only thing that I feel uncomfortable with you is the social thing.
Yeah.
But with us, if you're in a mood, you tell me, it's like, oh, okay, she's like that. That's fine. Like, it's very black and white. Oh, she's like this. Like, it's all matter of fact. It's not about us. It's not about me. It's only other things, like external things.
Yeah.
But it's being kept in the dark. It's walking on eggshells. When the other person, you're trying to say, what's wrong? And they're going, nothing. They're kind of denying your reality. Like, I think I understand you. And then I say, what's wrong? Are you going through no, I'm fine. But you're not. And then it makes me feel like, oh, I thought I was closer to you. I thought I understood you. You're telling me I don't. And now I feel even more distant from you.
Yeah, see, it's funny to me that you keep bringing that up because I actually see that as a completely separate topic from emotional women.
It is slightly.
Yeah.
It's kind of playing games. It's gaslighting. It's being avoidant. But it's also the woman not dealing with her emotions, not communicating it to her partner properly, just so he has a sense of it.
I guess there's a bridge between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with this topic, I more so think about like women that who are not able to have an argument or a conversation with someone without like completely being irrational and blowing up. That's specifically what this makes me think about.
You're thinking of like the blowing up drama you see on reality TV and stuff, like a real bitchy behavior and
Yeah, because the manipulating and lying and stuff, I wouldn't put that under this umbrella. So we just see that a bit differently, I think.
That's a male-female thing. This is what men have to deal with. Because if a woman blows up at a guy, it's like, all right, it's out in the open. Like, I can deal with this or I can say, fuck you. Because,
But a lot of men are in relationships with those types of women.
yeah,
also.
but that's stupid. Because at the end, for a woman to just be honestly emotional and blow up and be aggressive at a guy, if you're going to be aggressive at a guy can always win because we can go one up and be physical too. So we can always win. We can shout louder. We can go physical. We will win. So I think women's when they manipulate with emotions and they avoid things. And that's the scary part for a guy. That's the walking on eggshells. That's where we don't know who we are. We doubt ourselves. When someone's like highly emotional, I know for a woman, that's where you see this, but that's what you watch on your reality TV. That's why I can't watch that stuff. It's like, yeah, that's just a crazy bitch. Like, I don't even look in that direction. Like, I avoid people like that. I don't have I've never had a proper relationship with anyone who's like that. And if I saw her, it was like, okay, this is going to be over soon. This is ending.
I think emotion, to me, I view that as more physical. Like when I see a woman physically be emotional. And the other...
Expressive, yeah.
Yeah, and what you were talking about, I see that more as just a manipulative, lying bitch. Those are two different things. I get that they overlap, but I see those as different things. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's the stuff I'm talking about, the covert, the manipulation, the Hannibal Lecter under the surface kind of dangerous person. That's the thing that's dangerous for guys because we believe, oh, this person's beautiful, but they're really a snake. Whereas if they came out as a snake going, we'd be like, all right, you're a snake. But we think they're a bunny. You know, that's the thing that's interesting for a guy. For you, that's what you see with women being bitchy and stuff. You're good with emotions. Women deal with emotions. You generally don't have to deal with a guy being emotional. If a guy is emotional and very expressive, it's obvious,
And it's serious.
and it's serious, or it's a bit of a pussy because he's crying too much. Like if it's too expressive, when you get emotions from a guy, it's either aggressive or wimpy. Like if it's very expressive, it's very simple. You know, it's either attractive or not. With a guy, emotions are just like very, very complicated when we have to deal with it with a woman because we're not used to it.
Yeah. I was going to say something, but...
But the emotional one you say, yeah, that's the obvious one. But to me, it's like, yeah, that goes without saying.
Yeah. I was going to say something, but I forgot. Because I was distracted by when you said, like, when a man cries. But I feel like that's... When a man cries, I feel like it's very serious. And, like... I don't know. I think that happens very rarely.
That a man cries?
Yeah. And like if your partner cries, it's like there's something seriously wrong. And my response would be to like be concerned and to console him.
Yeah.
That's very different from when women cry. Obviously, not saying that it's not bad, nothing bad happened to the woman or whatever. But I've just always seen it like that. Like when a man cries, that it's like there's something very seriously bothering him. Or...
Yeah, and also when women cry, some women cry just to manipulate. They don't even mean the tears.
Yeah, but also just because we're more emotional. Like I've cried a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Just not because he did something to me or whatever, but just because of things I've been stuck with, or you know, like in my personal life and stuff. And you know, just like when I talk about stuff, sometimes I might get a bit emotional and I might cry a little. Like that happens a lot more naturally with women. With men, it doesn't. So when they cry, it's like, oh, something's going on.
Men are very simple with their emotions, right? It's very, but you're complicated. That's what I mean. Your emotions, like all the different things. What is it? Will she communicate? Does this mean this, or does it mean that? Are the tears of joy, or are the tears of misery? Like with you, it's like everywhere. But with guys are happy. We'll laugh. We'll rarely cry. When we cry, it's painful, and it's like very rare, like you said. So emotions with men, more or less, I think it's fairly simple to kind of, you feel sorry for a guy who cries because it's serious. But when a woman cries, like, well, where's this coming from? Is she happy? Is she just going through a mood? Is she this? Is she like, and then she won't tell me. And then I've got to, you know, it's all of that stuff is the complicated stuff.
Yeah. And again, those are two, I separate those all the time. Like women cry more because they're more emotional. It's not good or bad. That's just the difference between women and men. Yeah. But if she cries and you don't know what's going on and she won't talk about it and that kind of stuff, that's going into the lying and manipulative and not sharing stuff again. That's again something different. I separate those all the time.
Well, I'm talking about it in the context of relationship. So it needs to be communicated. You need to know what's going on with the emotions.
Absolutely. But like obviously just because women are more emotional and cry more doesn't mean that it's bad in some way. It's only when they also show bad behaviors with that emotion that it's bad.
Yeah, when they're avoidant and they manipulate and they don't communicate. Yeah. When a woman is highly emotional, we have to allow and accept it because we also have that physical aspect of what can happen when overly emotional. We have to be taught to keep it in check. Can you explain that? I kind of get where you're leaning, but I don't know the exact point you're making.
I think he's saying that we have to accept it when women are highly emotional, but with men, they're taught to keep it in check and not to be overly emotional. Step was if the pantry door left open.
Is that why you cried?
No.
Because I left the pantry door open?
No, sometimes I cry out of frustration when I mess up, like with my diet or something. But that's because I've got like a serious history with that. I won't get into now. But also, I've cried a lot when like I've been in the wrong and like I've done something and I've hurt you in some way or whatever. Or
Yeah.
that I've cried a bunch of times because of that reason. Also.
Yeah, she really.
Yeah.
Typically, most women don't really feel guilt or avoid guilt or don't like to admit when they're wrong. You really feel it and you admit it and you can't hide from it. If you try to avoid admitting you're wrong, you just go nuts. You kind of go crazy, and you're really hard on yourself.
Yeah, that has to do with my own values, I guess. Like if I don't respect my own values, then like nothing means anything anymore. I don't know. You
Yeah.
lose yourself if you've got certain beliefs and values and then you just throw them in the bin, like you lose yourself. Like nothing means anything anymore now.
Yeah, you know the people that can just like lie and avoid like the truth. Like you screwed up or you did something. Some people can just go, "Oh, let me just move forward and look pretend it didn't happen." Like whereas with you and me it's kind of like, "Yeah, but it's there. Let's address it so we can be completely free."
Yeah, and it's also stupid because what are you doing? You're messing up your marriage now? So you're just messing up your marriage now. Okay.
Yeah, some
Go to
people,
bed next day. Okay, I'm still messing up my marriage. Next day, am I just going to continue messing up my marriage? Like,
Yeah.
the fuck? It's stupid.
Yes, but some people can. It feels better to avoid and play passive-aggressive games because you can say, nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong, and then your marriage blows up, and then you can just say to your girlfriends later after you broke up, it's like, well, he just didn't understand me emotionally. It's like, guys, they just don't see you. They don't understand you. Did you talk to him? Oh, he never listens. Just, I can't talk to him. I'm always afraid of this. I know, girl. It's like you could just avoid being honest and direct with so much verbal bullshit. It's like admit when you're afraid, admit when you're just feeling weird and you can't put words to it, but stop avoiding yourself, like avoiding stuff, making up a story and just, well, let's not talk about it. And then you allow that ghost to hang around and you can just continue to pretend it's not there. Like, I don't get how people can do that.
Yeah, I know.
And then they ask you like, Bobby, why are you so calm? Because I don't do that to myself. Like I'm free. Like I'm not worried. I don't have ghosts behind my back. I'm not always avoiding stuff.
I think people only do that if they want out or something. They're not like really in it. Because then they don't care. So they're just busy with other stuff and maybe they've got like other motives to get out or something.
Yeah, and I also understand that a lot of people grew up in a family like that, where the way to survive when you were a kid was to play those games in your own head to avoid the reality of like mummy and daddy acting a certain way, they're fighting. Oh, let me pretend the fighting's not happening. Let me go over here. And so you pretend that your mum and dad aren't shouting or that you don't have a really volatile dynamic in your family growing up. So to survive, so you're not going to snap mentally, you just turn this way and you make up a fiction like, oh, no, let's just move forward. That doesn't exist. And so you learn to do that. And then when you get older, you get in a relationship, you have a fight, and then it's like, oh, let's not talk about it. Let's go to bed. Look, let's pretend it didn't happen. People can do that. That's what they were conditioned with.
I can get that in the moment, but obviously not long term.
Yeah, but you didn't have... it's not an excuse, but I think you and I didn't have that, or we just couldn't... We had to work it out.
Yeah, I know. But that's the thing that makes it difficult sometimes to talk about these things because it's like you can say what you would do and you can criticize the situation, but it's just like those situations where people have been abused their whole lives and then they end up in abusive relationships one after the other and you're like screaming at the TV, but like we don't understand. And because it happens so often with so many people, like it's just a thing that tends to happen. You know what I mean?
It becomes normalized as well.
Yeah, I mean, what I mean is like whenever we see that in a documentary or whatever, we're always like, but why do you keep repeating the pattern? But like if you're in it, Like, we don't understand.
Yeah.
But because it happens over and over again with those types of people that go through those things, it must be something like, it's not just like bullshit, like it's a thing.
Okay, if you don't know, if you're not aware of it, if you haven't gone to therapy, if you haven't heard someone talk about it in that way to point it out to you, you go, that's why I avoid things. That like now I see how it works, right? But up until this point, like once you know, then it's on you if you keep doing it, right? So if you're a child or you become an adult and you're just going through the motions, like you're not aware of how it works and you keep avoiding things, you're emotional, you don't communicate. But once you know, okay, yeah, this is what happens, my childhood, I avoid things, I don't express my emotions. Then then it's on you if you keep doing what you are doing. But once you know, then it's on you.
Yeah.
I know it can be hard, but yeah, we all know what the right thing to do is. Like Luke says here, I just have issues with people who won't speak and act correctly around me. Exactly. We all know this is a correct edict to think about. Be honest, communicate, don't play games, don't manipulate, don't use people. Like we can all publicly go, yep, that's good behavior. But then in private, we avoid, we're scared, we don't do it, emotional, like all these excuses. You're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, but I just don't. Why would you want to be in a relationship with someone like that?
I don't think we do want to. Some people are either used to it or the drama makes them feel like the relationship is life or something.
Yeah, so they get something out of it, and so they
Probably,
choose to stay. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned this. I think me, with my generally calm demeanor, I was probably a little bit boring for most girls. I might be interesting conversationally and like my skills that I have and hobbies and things. But I think in terms of a relationship energy and drama, I'm very, very low on drama and I don't do it well and I don't enjoy it. And it kind of makes a relationship with a person who loves drama, social drama, fighting, make up, break up, sex, make up, break, I don't do that. I don't know how to plug into that world. And a lot of people get a lot of energy out of that drama. Yeah. The same type of girls who are hooked on the worst kind of bitchy reality TV, if they can have that in their life with a man and it somehow keeps working, like they can ride that fun roller coaster, then that's the relationship they want. I don't want a roller coaster. I want, at most this. But pretty much a flat line. I like consistency and calmness, and so do you. But people are like, that's boring. I want high, low, high, low.
Sometimes I have this very, I don't know if the word is melancholic thought.
Sad thought.
Not sad, but kind of like, there's a word for it, like when nothing really, whatever you do, it's never gonna matter anyway. Like kind of like a...
Nihilistic.
Yeah. I kind of have the thought of like, with everything that we talk about, people are going to do what they do anyway.
Yeah.
And life is going to happen the way it happens anyway. So like any topic is really like just words that are being exchanged between people. You know what I mean? Like it's interesting, but like how much does it really matter?
Yeah, that's why you should just be honest because you don't waste your own time. Even if you want to be selfish, just be yourself, be honest, have fun, enjoy your dating, enjoy your relationship. Why hold on to not expressing your emotion, telling them exactly what you feel? Why play these games? Is it a sense of control? Like, it's too scary to admit that I'm in the wrong or I'm feeling emotional.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, you can give those people advice or you can talk about what they should do, shouldn't do, or whatever.
They won't change.
But like all these people on this planet, they're gonna do what they do.
Yeah.
They're gonna live their lives and everything's gonna happen the way it happens anyway. Sometimes I get a thought like that, like nothing matters, like,
Yeah, but it made me think as well. Like all these people on podcasts, like relationships, what happened? Men and women, why did she break up with me? Why did she cheat? Like my ex I just talked about earlier, like we went out for 2 years in a serious relationship and then she just ghosted me.
Yeah.
It's like, why? And I was wrapping my head around it. And I remember journaling, and I couldn't sleep for nights. And she did what she did. Like, people will
Yeah.
do what they do, you know?
And I think that even though it sounds super cliche, but like the sentence "you only live once," I know that that's like super cliche, but you really have to kind of get into that mindset, I think, and just like realize, yeah, I only live once. This is my life, and I'm gonna do what I want to do, and like have a great time doing it, and like not allow toxic people into your life. You know?
I agree. But you learn that, hopefully. That's why even with myself, you know, sometimes I say to you, even about my own emotions, life's too short for me to tolerate sitting in
Yeah.
a funk. Like with you, sometimes it's more difficult than for me. But sometimes if I'm in a funk, I'll be like, no, I don't want to feel like this, Bobby. Get your sneakers on, go for a jog. Change your state. If drawing's not working, go and make some music, or go and watch a movie, or go to a cafe with Stephanie. Life is too short for me to sit in an emotional state that I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Sure.
And it's the same with another person. Like I've told you, like sometimes when you've had a mood, you think I ghost you, but it's like, if I can't do anything, I don't want to be here. I'm going to go for a walk or something, you know? Like
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here doing that. Like life's too short for me to sit here feeling terrible all the time.
I know. I don't feel like you ever ghost me though.
No.
We have talked about how you would respond to certain hypothetical situations.
Yeah.
We've talked about that, but I never feel like you ghost me
No,
because
no.
that would not be okay.
No.
No, yeah.
I kind of ghost the situation. Like, I want to help. I want to work it out. I'm here for you. But if I can't do anything, I'll be over here, babe.
Yeah.
Until you want me, I'm here. That's what I mean. I ghost the situation. Like,
Yeah.
without going into detail, in Spain, remember, in the hotel room, where I was like frustrated. I was like, I'm going to go for a walk.
Yeah.
And you were in a certain like mood, nothing to do with us. And it's just, you were somewhere. And I was like, we're in Spain for one more night. I want to go for a walk. I was a bit more like, I didn't want to sit here
Yeah.
and just sit here like a piece of furniture while Stephanie's going through her stuff. I was like, you be there. I'm going to be over here. When you need me, call me. So I don't ghost you, but it's like, if I can't be involved, life's too short, man. I'll be
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah, and it's fine the way you do it, because if you feel like you can't do anything, and sometimes you just can't do anything.
I
And
can't.
like, I'm fine, but I'm just like, I've got this thing I can't get out of right now. And then you just like, you're over there. I know you're over there. I know I can always come to you, and it's fine. And then, you know, a while later, then it's okay again.
Yeah, for me, it's like, I care about you, but I don't care about this emotionally, because life's too short. I don't feel this at the moment. I can't pretend to care, because if I cared, like, I'd do something, but I can't. I don't want to feel scared. I don't want to feel powerless. I don't want to waste time.
Yeah.
Life's too short, so I'll be over here.
I also just wanted to say, I feel like we're like totally having our own conversation over here. Sorry, guys. No, but I also wanted to say on this stream that I actually find it really annoying that women are more emotional than men. I know there are good things about that as well, like we're more caring and that kind of stuff. But like generally, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay.
But I find it annoying. I wish I was way more stoic. I wish I was more calm, more stoic, less emotional. I didn't have like the mood swings and things like that sometimes.
You'd be surprised, in a lot of areas, you're actually really great, which is like why I'm with you and not someone else. Like, so in the very important areas, you're really good. Like, you're much more like a guy. You're very direct. You take responsibility. Like, that's why I said at the start of this stream that you've got your typical female traits to your emotions and stuff. Like, you are emotional the way a woman would be, but the degree and the areas and how much you are is different.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well, that's good.
I think also women they get trained in this emotional game playing and hiding your emotions, not being direct, manipulating how you communicate your emotions. You know, you go to school, if you're direct with other girls and telling them how you feel and direct about your emotions, all the other girls make fun of you. Stephanie, make, you know.
Yeah. Again, I find that a separate topic because you see, whenever I'm emotional or I have my things, there's nothing mean or manipulative about it. It's just something I'm going through in the moment that I talk about with you and, stuff like that. So you see how they're two completely separate topics that can coexist.
Yeah, but I'm saying that when you're a schoolgirl around other girls in school, that you're going through stuff and you want to be, your impulse is to be direct and communicate your emotions and what you're going through. The girls take advantage of that and make a joke out of you. And so you learn not to. And a lot of girls learn not to be direct because they're conditioned. If I show and I'm direct with my emotions, I get punished. I get made fun of. I get laughed at. So they're taught to be covert with their emotions, not be direct, not communicate. They want guys to be, but women is like, well, we feel, we don't say anything, we're shy. So
yeah, okay, but I'm not like that, so that's still a choice.
Yeah, I know. You're not. I'm not saying you, but that's what I'm saying. A lot of girls get conditioned by the schoolyard to survive.
I guess why I keep pointing out that difference is just to kind of defend women a bit, where to say that, yes, we are more emotional, but that's just because the sex women are more biologically emotional than the sex men.
Sure.
But that's a separate thing from women that are also mean and manipulative and liars. That's just what I'm saying. So yeah, just because women are more emotional, that's a natural thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then there are also women that are emotional but also manipulative and lying and stuff like that. I just want to make that distinction kind of to defend women that are just nice women, but we're just emotional sometimes. That's kind of just what I want to say.
Yeah, you've got women who are emotional and they put up a wall because they're afraid or insecure, and then you've got women who are emotional who let it out in manipulative ways to use people and make people feel bad. Like there's different types of people.
Yeah, like that's different. That's just a bitch.
Yeah. But that's why I said for guys, that's an easy one to avoid. Like in some ways, guys are grateful for the bitchy girl because at least it's direct and honest. And I think that's why, a lot of women say, well, why do guys go after bitches? Because there's some sort of honesty, like, oh, she's what she is. I can see her for what she is. Whereas with a woman that's always like, what is she feeling? She doesn't say what she's feeling. I can't communicate. I'm on eggshells. You don't feel safe around her because you can't actually get a sense of her.
Yeah, but that's the same category, right? Because you've got the women that are not just emotional, but they're also mean and manipulative, for example. They do all these things.
Yeah.
They can be very loud and aggressive, but they can also be covert, right? So that's still the same category. But that's separate from just women who are more emotional sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's,
But the women who are just emotional without all the mean stuff, the women who are emotional without all the mean stuff, they're more on their own. You can't connect with them and you can't get close to them. There's always a distance. There's not much of a distance between the aggressive, loud, like she's like...
No, but you're filling this in now. Because I'm emotional sometimes, but we communicate very well.
Yeah.
So it's not true for me.
No.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that there's a difference between... It's a biological, natural thing, the emotional thing, and then you have characters. That's the difference, I think. Mm. So women are biologically more emotional than men. That's one thing. That's just a fact. And then when we go into being mean, lying, manipulating, that's character.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily because you're a woman and you have emotions that you're now going to also be a horrible person. That's just that's your character. She's a bitch.
Yeah.
That's like, about her character.
It's a nice character or a bad character.
Yeah.
But then the woman who, I think that the distinction also, the important thing, whether or not you can be with a person or it's nice to be in a relationship with them, is that in both cases, you've got the emotional woman who's direct and she doesn't play games and she lets you know she's a bitch, she's angry, she's got a temper. And you've got the emotional woman who doesn't. The difference is if you're direct. One can be direct with their character and their emotions and you see them for who they are, then you make a choice whether you want to be around them. The other one isn't direct with their emotions. They might not be, they don't show a mean character, but a lot of guys actually end up being with that soft person that's not mean and aggressive.
Yeah, but I think what I'm trying to say is that it's not about being emotional, actually. Women are just more emotional. It's more so about the character.
Yeah.
That's what it's really about.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Because all women are to some degree more emotional than men. That's inherently not necessarily a problem. It's when the character comes in and they've got all these mean character traits.
And they express their emotions
And then they
through that
express
character.
it through emotion. And then we're like, oh, women who are emotional are dangerous. But it's not necessarily the emotions. That plays a role as well. But it's the character that's like the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But if the character isn't direct and doesn't express the emotions honestly, then I think that's the thing I focus on. Yeah.
But then she would have a nice character. She just is a bit emotional sometimes because she's a woman. But it's not a problem. She's still.
It's kind of tricky. Yes, it is nicer than being yelled at. That's fine, babe. It's the same.
Yeah, but my glass is greasy.
Pour it in that one then.
Oh yeah.
I would say that I would rather see directly that a woman's got a bad character, and at least again, maybe it's a male point of view. The thing that guys always have a problem with is the girl that looks nice but doesn't say much, but you have no idea if she's manipulating or she's just shy or can't express. There's no way of knowing until you've spent a lot of time with her, and you might have wasted 3 months or a year, and you find out that she was not the right person for you. She's completely incompatible. She is a mean person, but just hit it. She wasn't, you know what I mean? So that for a guy, all that character trait, that's fine, but you waste so much time, you don't know. I want to know. The sooner I know what you're about, then I can decide whether I want to stay with you or not.
Yeah, of course.
So I might like a girl who's gets angry, and might like that roller coaster. Oh, great. I found a girl who likes roller coasters in a relationship like I do. At least you know. So it's the direct ability to communicate it, not just your character. It's like if you're direct with it. Whereas the girl who's just emotional and she doesn't communicate and she's just all moody and stuff, like as a guy, it's like, what do? I can't talk. She won't communicate. It's like her character isn't even telling. What's the character?
Yeah, that's I would say still her character, but not necessarily malicious. But she's just like incapable of like having communication betwin
I think
partners.
that's why a lot of guys go for bitches, actually. The more I think about it, because I've heard this, like a lot of girls have said, why do guys go for the bitchy girls, the loud, obnoxious bimbos and stuff? It's like, they are what they are. They're so simple. You know, like you see what you see, you get what you get. There's like a sense of clear honesty. They communicate who they are. Their character, it might be for a short time. Can I tolerate it? How long? But it is what it is. It doesn't change. I know what but the covert, weird, walking on eggshells, like by the time you find out if you're compatible with them, you've spent like a year with them. It's like, I've just been floating around on eggshells for a year, and now I'm demoralized. And like, I don't even know how to choose a person because I haven't been communicating properly. Like, it really wrecks you with an avoidant, soft, nice character that you think is better than the bitch. But in some ways, being with a bitch for a month is better than being with a avoidant, uncommunicative, passive, nice, soft girl who's overly emotional and you don't know where you stand for a year. Like, in some ways, it's better being with a bitch for a short amount of time than with like a nice, overly emotional girl for a year.
Yeah, but I question how close can you get to someone who is that quiet and you don't know who she is?
By the time you figure out your limits, you've wasted a year. That's what I mean about sometimes it's better. That's why.
Yeah, but also if it doesn't feel right, why do you stay?
How long does it take you to feel like are you being too impatient? You know, because if I went on a date and I meet a girl and she's like straight away, she thinks she figures me out. Oh yeah, you're Gemini, you're this, you're that. Like, no, not for me. All right, arrogant idiot. Like, fine, I won't see you anymore. So some people are very quick. But then me, I'm curious. Like, I want to get to know someone. So how long does it take me to actually see them clearly? It's not just me making my own assumptions. It's how much she can let herself out and be honest and show herself. Some people don't let the guard down quickly. I do. Some people take a little bit of time, but then once they do, then you see a nice person and you could be compatible with them, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think that takes that long.
Sometimes it does. Everyone's a bit different.
That seems weird to me. Maybe because I date men. But
Yeah, but I got to know you really quickly. You're very refreshing because you're like me. You show yourself exactly who you are straight away. And you and I connected straight away. That's good.
yeah, but I think the beginning of any relationship is always like exciting and like the honeymoon period. So I find it very strange if you enter into a relationship with someone where you're like, okay, let me kind of see if we are compatible and if this could go somewhere. Like, that's a weird way to...
Mostly it's like, I like you and I don't want to ruin this. Like, when I met you, if you had if you weren't so direct and matter of fact, but you like me, I like you, and I like what I see, I like what I feel, I love our discussions, but you don't share a lot with me straight away. It takes you time to feel comfortable enough to... Whereas with you, I ask you and anything, you'll tell me.
Yeah, but we also wouldn't have been in a relationship then. If I wouldn't have... I feel like the start of a relationship and a honeymoon period is like both people are excited and jumping in. That's what it should be. If you're not going to start a relationship with someone, if you're like, I'm not sure where this is going to go, that's like the dating phase maybe, not a relationship.
Well, yeah, but a lot of people are in the dating phase and they find themselves in a relationship, but really mentally they're in the dating phase. I've been in a few serious relationships for a couple of years, and really I know them more, but I still feel like I'm in the dating phase because I'm not completely comfortable and I can't trust them completely.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, but it happens. It's very common.
But I think it's so different from men and women also, dating and relationships.
Sorry, yeah, we are talking to ourselves.
Yeah, we really are. Let's read some comments. In part, but in this case, they're not being appropriate. Example, I'm mad, so I'm gonna take it out on you, and because you're my friend, you have to put up with it.
Yeah, if you love me, you got to put up with the good and the bad.
I'm like, if I'm mad or upset or frustrated about something, I'm gonna take it out on like the universe or whatever with you. You know what I mean? Like if I'm frustrated about something, you join me like, yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Or if you're like, I join you like, yeah, this is stupid.
But I don't pile it all on you.
No, not at each other. That's dumb.
Yeah. It also says that women's tears can be used to manipulate a person. I remember a study where they said women's tears load a man's testosterone and gross. Sure, it does. But again, pull it back to Anthony. All this stuff is very accurate. Biologically, what women are capable of, the differences between men and women. But when it comes to choosing the right person, dating correctly, and knowing who's good for you, you need to think less scientifically and more in the language of, say, Luke, is like, you don't treat me well, fuck off. What's the problem? Let's talk about it. Rather than, studies have shown that women subdue their emotions and don't express themselves by 46%. Like, who cares? It's like, are you acting in the right way or are you not? I don't care about what people do and statistics and everything. We all know how we should act and what is fair behavior and what is good.
Yeah, because it's also like if you keep accepting behavior, then you're telling them that it's okay for them to behave like this.
Yeah. Women who use tears to manipulate a person, if you're aware of what good behavior is, you start to see, I know when tears are genuine now more, whereas when I was younger and naive and just like reading up about men and women and stuff, I would just see tears and go, oh, genuine tears. Okay, woman is crying. She feels sad. It's not that. And then now through conversation, when I'm interacting with a woman, and then through that interaction, we're talking, she's telling me what's on her mind, and she starts crying, then I can kind of see, is this genuine or is this manipulative? You know? So an example is when I was very young in one of my first relationships, I remember she cried, but in hindsight later on, as I got older and like had other relationships, I look back and go, she cried in that moment to win the conversation. Like we were having a difference of opinion and I was actually calling her out on something like, no, you did this wasn't fair, this wasn't good. And she was like, oh, but you don't know how hard it is for me and all. And then all of a sudden my conversation stopped and I was trying to kind of go to her, I'm like, I don't mean to make you cry. And I made it all about calming her down. And then she was like, we calmed down and we resolved it, and we avoided her taking responsibility of what I was trying to call her out on.
Right.
And so that's what I mean. Like, some women do that, and she did. But then sometimes you can't just sort of say, well, when women cry, they're manipulating you. Because a lot of guys now, they listen to dating advice, like whenever a woman cries, it's like, she's trying to control me. It's like, no, it might be genuine, but you now think it's black and white.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at Miller's comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also kind of lame if someone can't take the truth.
Yeah, I always try and remind myself, just do the right thing and life is easier. Do the right thing by you. Like if you've got habits and things you want to do, you want to stay fit, just do what you should do, regardless of your emotions, and your life works out better. Regardless of how you feel, do the right thing, and you'll feel better. You want good emotions, do the right thing.
Like, babe. You do. He does still always leave it open.
Yeah, but you love it. It's endearing.
It's funny. I'm always like pushing it shut whenever I walk. Like,
I bet you if I started closing it, you'd be like, "Aw," and you'd like leave it open, babe. Like,
no.
Yes, you would.
No.
It's an endearing thing. You love it. You do. You love it.
It is cute though. It doesn't bother me at all anymore.
See? Yeah.
No, it's cute.
Yeah, you got things as well. I find cute. I've said this before. There's so many things that you do, these little things. And I remember if I think of any of my exes, right, that I didn't get along with that well, and if they did that, I was like, that would have been a fight. That would have really annoyed me. And for you, it's like I laugh when I think about it when you do it, or when I see something out of place or whatever. It's like, it's cool because it's part of your character.
Yeah.
I think it's also because when things are very harmonious and stable between the two of you, other stuff can be laughed at. But when there's friction between your personalities and your character and your values, every little thing just becomes huge. It's like, oh my God, that cup is there again. Oh my God, life would be so much easier because I could leave my cup wherever I wanted. I wouldn't have to deal with you leaving your cup there.
Yeah. I think we can go down.
Can we?
Oh. What comment was that?
Scoff at the same comment to Bobby. Not sure what you mean, Luke.
Female emotions can be chaos energy, essentially.
Yeah, it's kind of the older I got, I was aware that me being with the person, do I feel like my energy is depleted being around her?
Yeah.
Or is it warm? Is like you give me energy, I look forward to being with you. I always was aware when I'm driving away from an ex-girlfriend, like I actually was happy driving away and spending time at home on my own away from them. It's like I did my bit. I had some boyfriend-girlfriend time. It's like now I need some time on my own. You probably felt that way as well with guys. I'm not mean. I'm just emotional.
No, there's a difference. You aren't a victim of your circumstances. You're a victim of your perspective of the situation.
It's the Stoics said certain things. It's not what happens to you. It's how you react or how you perceive the things that happen to you. Yeah. We're in an era now of a lot of emotions, a lot of self-help. Everyone's trying to like fix their emotions, trying to get around, control their emotions.
Yeah. But yeah, Luke says the same thing also, like emotions, and then you've got dysfunctional actions, like they're separate though.
Yeah. You can think or feel whatever you want, but then when you act upon those, that's really the... They say with guys, with girls, like don't listen to what women say look at how they act, see who they choose. Girls that say, I want a nice guy, but then they say all I date is bad boys, and then you go, okay, that's who you are. It's not what you want. It's like how you act. You want bad boys, and if I'm not a bad boy, then it's not going to work between us.
You know, something a little different. What you shared with me today yesterday about Pearl's post, that was so interesting.
Oh,
Was it
about
like
the women on OnlyFans?
Yeah, like she shared like what percentage of white men were married and
Half of white men in America financially support
OnlyFans.
half of the women between the age of 18 to 25 on OnlyFans, and they're white and married.
Yeah, and married. And that just made me think like marriage is such a joke nowadays. Like all these men being on OnlyFans and obviously not happy in their marriage. Like that's crazy.
Well, they will say, well, I'm not cheating on you, babe. It's like looking at PORN, you know?
Yeah, but it's not even about the question whether it's cheating or not. It's just like just that fact of like that so many married men who are supposed to be happily married feel the urge to be on OnlyFans. Like that says something about their marriage.
Well, OnlyFans is largely a girlfriend, a virtual reality girlfriend to a lot of guys. Like if you're supporting them, if you're paying, like you could just go online and look at naked women, but if you want to have that relationship and support, it's like people who support us or my other channel, like who support and donate and whatever, you're having a more intimate relationship. You're subscribed, you're supporting, like it's more of a like a direct connection. So guys who are actually supporting in that industry, you are having a bit of a little girlfriend experience.
Yeah, it is different from regular porn, I think. But that's a different topic for another day, maybe.
You get to know someone at the end of a relationship. Norman Mailer said this. He said there's 3 stages of getting to know a woman. There's the initial affair, there's the marriage, and then the third stage from which you will never know a woman is the divorce. You'll usually see a side of her that you... And I've experienced that in breakups, not a divorce, but in breakups where I saw a side of my exes that I never saw during the relationship.
Yeah, you know what's funny though? They can say that, but that's also really about the character.
Yeah?
It's not like a given. Because my exes have all been the same person they were from the beginning to the end, and so have I, you know? So that's just like the type of person that you are. Yeah.
And also, when you look back on it, a lot of these guys have said, oh, well, she was like this at the end. She became a real bitch. But then when you ask them, like, did she have a temper? Yeah. What, was she quick-tempered? Yeah. She didn't like it. She had a bit of a few feminist ideas. Like, and then it kind of makes sense. Like, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense that she acted like that. Not that she was correct, but it's not removed from her character. If she was like a really nice, placid girl and she was all nice, and like, say she was like the perfect girl, you cheated, right? And then she broke up with you, but she went ballistic. She burnt your car. Like, whoa, okay, that's different. But if she was like hard work and a bit of a roller coaster, and then at the end, she comes out with fangs and like really, well, okay, I can see that. A lot of guys I think they kind of put this picture over a girl, and it's not an accurate one, especially if you don't communicate and you're not compatible, that they struggle with a bad relationship, and when it's over, a lot of the real person comes out, and you think, oh, where did that come from? Like, you were never having a real relationship with the person, and then when it was over, she was like, well, fuck, bets are off. No more politeness. Like, fuck you. I'm going to make you pay. I've got a temper. You know, I'm going to have revenge.
Yeah, that's what I never understand. It's like a lot of people who have those types of characters, they don't care about how they see themselves. Because if someone did something bad to me, right? And then, because I've actually been in this position, and I could do something to them that would
like a revenge.
Yeah, as a revenge that would like be bad for their career or something, or whatever. I still won't do it because then I'm just being like that person, and like I have to. I see myself in a type of way. And if I did that, that's not how I want to see myself. That's not the type of person I want to be. Like, that bothers me. And I feel like a lot of people, when I hear these stories, they don't have that. They're missing that thing about how they see themselves or something, you know?
Yeah, they don't really want to improve. They don't want to feel better. I think it's a difference between, you know, the people who buy self-help that tells them in an airy-fairy way, like, you're a queen, you can do anything, like, it's very delusional. And then there's a self-help that's like really like you fixing yourself. You got those different types of people. And the type of person that you are, like, you can't live with yourself. You don't want to lie. You don't want to be not direct and things like that. But then you've got the people that avoid and manipulate, and they just put beautiful slogans on bad behavior.
Yeah, but it's like they don't care about their own characters.
No,
and
they don't.
That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, it's weird.
They just want to feel good. They don't care how they treat people.
Yeah, like, I don't get that it doesn't bother them if they've done something really bad, even if the other person might, like, deserve it in a way. But now you still did that. And now you've done that as a person, and it doesn't bother them. I don't get that.
See, Melee says, do the right thing and then you sleep better at night.
Yeah.
There are people that can destroy someone and they sleep fine.
Yeah.
They like destroying people. They feel better when they walk all over somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. I would even if I did it, I would lose myself, because now I feel horrible because of what I've done. Because that's not the type of person I want to be. Like, it's not even about the other person anymore. Now I've done something to myself.
Yeah, because then what are you going to do when you talk to people? You have to lie, like these other people. What happened when you broke up? I don't know. You know, it's like, but you took him to the cleaners, you ruined him, you cheated, you took the house. And when people say, what happened in the breakup? You know, I just didn't feel loved, and, you know, he just walked out, and, you know, I've got the kids. And so you make this beautiful story how you're the victim and you didn't do anything wrong. But you can lie to yourself and you can sleep at night. But the honest person is like, well, this happened. Yeah, I cheated. Yeah, like, there's some people that need to be honest, and then you can sleep better at night. But some people, they can't sleep when they sleep, even if they lie. They can believe their own lies. They can tell lies to other people.
Accept the person how you found them, not how you wish them to be. Doesn't mean accept poor behavior, but they are what they are. You choose to stay or leave. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I only got better at that when I was older. I remember my sister was better than that, younger than me. And she would always say that, accept the person for who they are. Like, the people will show you who they are. And I'm like, not always, but it is. Like, if you're not looking, if you're not asking questions, if you're not communicating, and if you see someone has a temper, they don't treat you well, they try and manipulate you, they get offended in everything you say, they don't have a sense of humor, you can actually see the discomfort you're having with this person. But you're just like, oh, well, that's nothing. Oh, well, maybe I don't have I need to relax. Like, you excuse so much, but people do show you who they are, especially if you're talking and trying to get to know them. If you avoid seeing what you're seeing, it's your own fault.
Yeah, look, there's some healthy self-reflection, of course, that you should always do. But, like, if you've reflected and you're like, no, this isn't right, then, like, obviously you shouldn't accept it, no.
Yeah,
Garu, the more I destroy, the better I sleep. Yeah. Garu.
I hope you're feeling better. He had COVID.
COVID?
Yeah, he got COVID this week.
Does that still exist?
Yeah. I think he lost his smell for a day or two.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think it's come back. So I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lack of integrity in their character.
Yeah.
Some people don't care about integrity. You look online, everyone's just you look at most of the videos they post to you, it's about hustling, becoming a millionaire, being better than everyone else. Like, the metric is just to be at the top of the mountain and have the most money and power and laugh at everyone below you because they're like pussies and they can't do what you can do. There's no empathy. You don't care about being fair. You don't have a moral code. You're not philosophical. You're not stoic. It's all about like a toddler's attitude. Give me all the toys. That's everyone's like compass now. It's like really, it's like I wouldn't have a friend like that. Partially, I think there's a lot of lack of integrity, not just partially. We've been going for nearly an hour and a half, so I think we should wrap up.
I'm so hungry.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
You actually didn't say, no, I want to keep going, so you do.
I do want to do the rapid fire
Do you?
questions, and then we'll go.
Okay, rapid fire. See, now we have a few rapid fires left. You wanted to use them up last week.
Because it's fun. How
All
many
right.
do we... Ooh, we still have...
All right, go.
Who is the better singer? Yeah, I probably am, because I used to sing when I was younger.
Yeah, she's got a really good voice. You could probably
Thanks,
tell
babe.
by the way I speak, I have a bad singing voice.
Do the pretending to sing.
No. I always, you know, you have these little fantasies. I would love, given my voice, if I just came out with like this awesome male singing voice, and people would be like, "Whoa!"
Not opera though.
No, but like a really
Okay.
cool, smooth. Like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah. Who always has the remote control? You have it more often than I do, but
50-50.
but we watch what we both want to watch though. But you do it. You control it more. You
yeah, a bit more.
use
me.
it more.
Who has a better poker face?
Poker face.
Me.
Yeah, you can see everything on my face.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can't hide anything.
Yeah.
Not that I lie, but I'm better at sort of being stoic in the face of feeling uncomfortable. I'm better at kind of going, all right, I don't like this. Let's do this. Like, ignore that feeling. I'm not going to do that. Like, whereas you're just emotional.
If I feel uncomfortable or something's up or something's not right, yeah, you'll see it on my face, and I'll have to fix it before I can move on. Yeah. What's their favorite holiday? In the past or in the future?
Well, mine is probably winter. Any holiday in winter. I like colder weather, and she likes summer.
Oh, like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking. But I don't actually have if it's a particular holiday, probably Christmas, New Year.
Oh, is that what they mean? Well, there are so many different ways they could.
Oh, you mean like if we went somewhere for
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's do that one.
Well, mine one is
Hawaii.
like a summer holiday, just anywhere with a nice hotel or resort with a pool, nice warm weather.
Yeah. Tropical
That's
holiday.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine would probably be the opposite.
Winter sport.
Yeah, like some cold cabin, or if we went to a Scandinavian country and just like had a hotel room and we were rugged up with beanies and we went to the supermarket and just watched TV and yeah, I would like a colder.
You know what's weird about me? I love tropical and warm weather because I hate being cold. But like at least I can respect it if it's like really cold, like there's snow, like a Scandinavian country. Mm-hmm. But if it's like in between, I hate that. Like if it's just like here, the winters are pretty soft, but I hate winters more here than I did in Holland. And in Holland, it's colder. So it's kind of weird. And I think it's because I told you, when I came to Australia, I was expecting the weather to be nice, like pretty much always, and it isn't. And
It's
I'm like, emotional. No.
What do you mean nice? Like, yeah, when it's hot, sometimes it's uncomfortably hot.
Yeah, but I don't like the winters. Like the older I get, the more I hate being cold.
Yeah, that's normal
I'm
for a girl.
noticing.
Girls get cold easy. Who's more likely to go all out for Halloween?
I have never ever celebrated Halloween in my life.
Me neither. But if one of us had to, probably you, because you like dressing up and...
Speaking of which, coming Tuesday at school, we are celebrating Dutch Carnival. because I'm teaching Dutch now. So all the students and myself are dressing up in costumes. And we're going to play games and listen to carnival music and stuff. It's going to be fun. So I guess right now I am. And I have the costume of Esmeralda from The Hunchback of the Notre Dame. And it's really cool. I might put a picture up on the Instagram. They can see my outfit.
I don't think I've seen that cartoon, The Hunchback of...
Oh, we should watch it. You'll like it probably.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, I think so. It's nice.
I've got a joke about that, The Hunchback.
Right.
There was a hunchback in the town, and every morning he was in charge of ringing the bell, right?
Yeah.
And he, every morning he'd run at a certain time in the morning at 6, run up the tower quickly and ring the bell, and then he'd be used to doing that. One morning, he slept in. I've got to try and remember this. He slept in, and he only had a few minutes to run across town and get to the bell, right? And he's running, and he tripped and he fell on this grease on the road, and his hands were all slippery, he's covered in oil, and he's trying to get there, and he gets to the top, and he's trying to pull the rope, and it's slipping, so he can't pull the bell. And he's like, oh, I have to ring it now, it's time. And so he smashes his face against the bell, so bang, and then again bang, he smashes his face into it, right? And then he gets knocked out and he falls off the tower onto the street and he's dead. And then everyone's coming around going, oh my God, what happened? Who's this? And some person goes, I don't know who that is, but his face rings a bell. Okay. Dad joke.
Oh man, I didn't see that coming. I was like, is this a joke? It sounds like a horrible story.
All right. I think...
5 more? No?
Really? All right, then this week, you have to come up with a whole bunch of other ones, all right?
Yeah, well, AI will. AI rules.
Don't say that. All right, come on.
Who's more likely to embarrass the other in public? Oh, no one. We would never do that. So
No. We joke with each other. I often joke with her. She's got she can laugh at herself. We can both joke, but I would never seriously embarrass you in public.
No, that's horrible.
Yeah, I think it's stupid.
What's
I like it when partners really stick up for each other. That's the worst thing. I find it not just cringy, but angry when I see one partner in public really putting someone else down or making a joke about them.
Yeah. What's their ultimate comfort TV show?
I know yours.
Well, I've had a few that I've really enjoyed.
TV show, not movie.
TV show, yeah. Well, sometimes I enjoy watching those drama shows.
Yeah.
The real estate shows where all those women are trying to sell real estate.
All the shows with whores and bitches, pretty much.
The Ultimatum, I've watched a few of those. Those can be good. I really enjoyed Mr. Beast games. That was awesome.
I enjoyed that more than I thought I would, actually.
Yeah. I enjoyed that one more than Squid Games, I think.
I watched it because you were more curious about watching it, and I knew about him from YouTube. But I don't watch his channel. But that was really good. I enjoyed it.
That was awesome.
What's my ultimate comfort TV show? A TV show, not movie.
I feel like you like... well, sometimes you watch weird stuff. When you're watching alone and I'm doing something else, you watch anime stuff or something sometimes?
Yeah. Comfort. Yeah. Anime, but I'm talking about a TV show. I'm thinking series.
I think you also like Black Mirror sometimes.
Yeah, I like intellectual thrillers, series like that. So espionage, things like that. But I also like those kind of movies. So
we both enjoyed Yellowstone.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, but I don't watch many TV shows.
No, that's true.
But that could also be a documentary. It doesn't have to be a series. So anyway, a lot.
Yeah.
It's easier to kind of probably with us say what we don't like. So that's probably easier. What's their favorite way to relax? YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube is a big one for me.
Yes.
I've also been reading in the evening sometimes, but yeah, YouTube or just watching something on TV and chilling on the couch, that's probably my favorite way to relax, I would say.
Mine is going for a jog, drawing, and also online YouTube, just scrolling and looking at stuff and researching and whatever.
Would you put drawing in the category of relaxing, yeah?
Yeah.
Because for me, because I write, but for me, that's in the category of productivity, not relaxing.
It's both for me. Like sometimes I procrastinate to do it, but once I do it, it's so relaxing and meditative that I think like, why was I resisting this? This is so relaxing and so much fun. So it is. It's relaxing and productive. It's two.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I think that's a bit harder with writing because you have to focus really hard on.
Yeah, I think with drawing and art, you actually see it and it's there and materialize it. It gives you a reward as you're doing it. It's really rewarding.
Yeah. Who's the more competitive one? I don't think I'm competitive.
No, I probably am more competitive, not with you, but with myself, with things. But I'm not competitive as well. But if you're saying who's more, maybe I'm slightly more. But neither of us are very competitive.
No, I think I don't like competition at all. I think I avoid it more. And I don't really believe in competing with yourself. I think that's different from competing.
Well, you kind of do. When you write another book and you want to learn things, you're kind of, whenever you're growing,
No, you're just progressing or you're growing or you're trying to improve yourself. But like, I don't think it's competing. You can't really compete with yourself. You can do better than the last time, but competing is with another person.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just semantics that I'm focusing on.
Who's more likely to start a new hobby?
Probably me. Just because I'm always like...
like the gym and stuff?
Yeah, like with my diet and the gym, I have like stopped and started a lot in the last few years.
Yeah, but it revolves around the same thing, like
That's
health
true.
and fitness. But it's something completely new. Like you come out of nowhere, it's like, babe, I want to start hang gliding. Oh, babe, I want to start doing this. And I don't think either of us...
Well, I did start to study Serbian. That's a new thing I started.
think, yeah, slightly you, maybe. Yep. All right. My butt's getting sore.
Yeah,
Let's wrap it up. All right. I hope you guys got something out of this.
Look. Kara is going to embarrass both of us in public. Well, you'll have to come here first to do that. How are you going to do that, Karu?
Yeah. I think people online, not saying Karu, but I think a lot of people who troll online, who are really tough and they say mean things, in public they wouldn't be doing these things. Like in public, like online they say, I'm going to embarrass him. I'm going to really take them down online. I'm going to ruin their channel or something. And then in public, it's like, you try and do that. Only one person wins. You don't survive. You know, the person who's meaner will win. Like everyone's mean online because nothing happens to you.
Yeah.
But online, it's like, let's see who'll like, then if the next person will never give up until they get you back, then one person's going to lose.
I think it brings out the worst in people. That you're able to be online and no one can see you.
All right. Let's wrap it up. So, why I didn't get out the pen. I was going to draw the thing.
Oh yeah, where's your pen? Is
Yeah.
it that one?
Well, it might switch off. Let me see if I can get it to work.
Is it this one?
No. Let me see if I can turn it on now or whether it will fuck everything up.
Oh!
Wait.
Oh.
Okay. Whoa.
What happened?
Ah. Look at that. No, I can't do it now. I haven't set up the... Let me... No, I can't do that. Screenwriting.
You're messing up live, babe.
Okay. Yeah, I had to set up for... Can't do it.
Bobby, if we play basketball, you would be competitive.
Yes, I would. But see, the thing with me, I was never competitive. I really dominated during training, right? But when it came to games with competition and you have to win, I wasn't good. My competitive, like you want to call it, my drive and my ability to take risks and be confident and like be 100% there, I wasn't on the court because of all the expectations, the competition, the score, and all this. And I was not anywhere near the person I was at training on the game day, where you got some people, they don't even want to train. They're all about the game and they're all about competition. Like my brother-in-law, he didn't enjoy training, but he was all about competition. Whereas I was always about training because I don't like competition.
No.
And a lot of my own teammates, when it came to the game, they're like, Bob, where are you? Like you're at training, you're like this, but when you come here, you're like a different person. You play it safe, you're very measured, but on the court we can't stop you. But here, like you're playing like crap. So
I like fun competition. Like when it's like with family or friends and it doesn't matter who wins, you're just having a good time. Like that's fun. But if it's like serious, then it's so stressful to me.
Yeah, with me too. Like even when you play one-on-one and you train, we still might be playing up to 20. Like, oh, let's play up to 20, the first one to get up to 20. It's a fun competition, but I don't see it as a competition. There's just a goal and we're having fun getting to the goal. But when it comes to a game, it's like do or die, win or lose, responsibility. We have to win. So it's not about fun, it's about winning.
Yeah.
And I don't actually get the reward of winning like other people do. You know, I just want to continue. Whereas there's a finality to sports. And I think it's the same way when I used to create comic books. I used to write the comic book, publish it, get it out there, and then look forward to the next one. Whereas a lot of people, they want to stay in the reward. It's like stay there and enjoy the victory. It's like, all right, that's over. Like, I want to keep going. I don't want to stop, you know? And training is like you just keep going. Whereas a game, it's very, very finite. And all that matters is that you win and the other people do. It actually doesn't matter how you play, what you do. You got to win. Yeah. But yeah. If you're ever down in Melbourne, Malay, although you look like you're younger than me, so you probably win. But then again, I should start training. Basketball was a lot of fun. Yeah.
But you got injuries and stuff. That's why you stopped, huh?
The more I get injuries, the longer it take to recover. Then I started to, instead of taking a few days to recover, it'd be weeks and weeks, pulled hamstring, pulled this. And then you just spend more time being sore and...
Would you actually consider that? Like starting that again?
It's if my body would cooperate and I could stay consistently healthy, then I would, because I really enjoyed it. It's really nice. It was really nice about physically engaging with like an activity like that at a high level and in high intensity. But then also mentally, it's good for your brain. You're thinking quickly. But then also in my private life, like I've got my own brain hobbies. I just feel like I've let go of a lot of my sport physical hobbies just because my body's not cooperating, like it's getting injured. But it'd be nice if I could ease into it, because now when I go on runs sometimes, I have really great runs where I feel like I'm floating on air. And if I could get back to a little bit of that in basketball, it'd be really good. My brother still plays.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am rambling. And we're going to go. Hope you all got something out of that.
Yeah, and don't be emotional.
And I'm going to take my emotional wife.
And
we're going to go for a coffee.
And I'm probably going to have breakfast too, because I'm starving.
Yeah. All right. We'll decide where we're going to go. Have a good weekend, everyone. And I may see the rest of you on my stream tomorrow if I decide to have one. Rocket, I'll message you as well. So I may see you tomorrow on a stream. But have a good weekend and bye everyone.